How's it going today? It's 14 of June, Friday, and we're taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities we can find. In this video, let's delve deeper and trying to understand what's happening in Europe. Best place to start, I believe, would be taking a look at Wikipedia, and let's try to understand definition first. From there, once we understand definition, we're gonna progress into taking a look at three different countries, taking a look at the same contract or similar problem, and coming up to with solutions in solving this problem. And from there, let's take a look at the plan. So and criticize the plan, I guess. First, let's take a look at the European Sky Shield Initiative. Let's try to understand this initiative a little bit better and what it is. That would be European Sky Shield Initiative, or ESSI. It's a project to build ground-based, so ground to air or something. I think that's the definition, but either way. Ground-based integrated European air defense system, which includes anti-ballistic missiles capabilities as of April 2024. So it's to be something to be considered perhaps new initiative, right? 2 months old or so. 21 European states participate in this initiative. Poland is expected to join in 2024. I'm gonna be taking a look at something what Poland is doing. So, if you would ask me, some of those countries, east of Europe are more worried compared to other countries. So I'm interested in understanding or having Poland's stake. It's always something that we're gonna be taking a look at within this video. The initiative was originally proposed by Chancellor of Germany Olaf Scholz in August 2022. The proposal was made during 22-23 Russian strikes against Ukrainian infrastructure. Something that we were taking a look at in the previous video, how expensive and how much finances would now Ukraine need to raise to rebuild it, right? Not to taking into account other measures, right? If we are taking a look at just electricity, right? Not loss of life, all this kind of things, which is very important, right? But just infrastructure and rebuilding infrastructure, how expensive it can be. A very hard thing to do, by the way, and it will take decades, right? And amidst increased concerns about limited European capability to defend against such threats as a result of 9K-70 Iskander ballistic missile systems deployed in Kaliningrad. In October 22, 15 European states and I'll close on the last point, right? United Kingdom. Okay. So perhaps in the future, if not right now, there might be some contracts, I guess, for companies. If not, or perhaps only military companies, but perhaps private businesses as well, right? From UK to take part in this initiative. Signed declaration of joint German-led initiative. It will involve joint procurement of air defense systems. As of 2024, all founding states are members of NATO, with Finland's accession into the alliance occurring in 2023. The initiative also aims to strengthen NATO integrated air defense systems. In February 2024, the German government announced that Greece and Turkey will join the initiative. Okay, I'm not sure if I should read or carry out reading the rest of it. Let's delve deep in trying to understand proposals. So there are a lot of proposals on the table, and let's try to understand those. But before then, let's take a look at myself. I'm interested in understanding what's happening with European. Let's do a little bit of background check. See what Europe is all about. Quickly, right? Let's take a look at Ursula von der Leyen. That will be German physician and centralized political service at the 13th Presidential European Commission since 2019. So she's been serving for quite some time now. I don't know nothing about her, so I'll touch on that. Since we're currently undergoing general elections in Europe, and I think she will carry on serving as president of the European Commission between 5 and 19, holding position in Angela Merkel's cabinet. Most recently, a federal minister of defense. Okay, so perhaps she would be taking one or overseeing some of these projects, right? So I thought it might be worth touching on that. Once that been said, let's let's get on and take a look at three different contracts, right? That would be if it was German, that we can start with Germany, progress to France, and touch on Poland. Since it's German led, let's take a look at then what kind of information we can find. Germany forges back to leadership throughout the European Sky Shield Initiative. On October 13, 2022, Germany and 14 NATO allies signed non-binary letter of intent to pursue the European Sky Shield Initiative and integrated their defense and anti-missile system. The initiative gained support from 19 European states as of July 23. However, notable NATO members, including France, Italy, Poland, Spain, and Turkey, have retained from joining by the time, right? So perhaps there are some changes. So we next proposition we're gonna be taking a look at France and Poland, and there might be some reasons why they have decided as of time of writing of this article. That will be January 19, 2024. Perhaps by that time, because of the Germany perhaps proposed to purchase a lot of hardware from US and Israel. And I think overall spending is about European spending. We're taking a look at 55% or so. It's been purchased instead of manufactured within Europe. So I don't understand why would Europe purchase so much hardware from other countries other than manufacturing themselves. But that's my opinion why France, Italy, Poland, Spain, and Turkey decided as of time of writing not to join this initiative. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz proposed the ESSI in August 22 following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The initiative builds on the 2014 Framework National Concept led by Germany, UK, and Italy. Scholz highlighted European vulnerability to ballistic and long-range missile threats, advocating for an integrated defense structure utilizing Germany's ARST, American Patriot, and Israeli Arrow-free systems. As I mentioned, so we're taking a look at American and Israel. So it's not necessarily Germany, if they had their own hardware, which is great, but they're proposing to purchase something. So I don't see a reason why we should support or other in the government, why we should send money across and large percentage of money and defense, since the European countries looking to expand its defense spending. That means we would send money across to different governments, including America and Israel. So that's overall where things are. Let's progress to the next proposition. That would be France. So let's take a look at that. Let's progress to taking a look at France and what kind of information we might be able to find. That would be President Macron proposed European Defense Initiative. I completely agree with France's mindset coming into this initiative, where they would recommend them manufacturing everything themselves, right, instead of purchasing everything. But I haven't read this article. Let's read it now. In speech of Sorbonne on 25th of April, that would be about 2 months ago or so, President Emmanuel Macron called France-European alliance to develop capability strategic concept over the coming months for defending continent based on their own capabilities. These moves will count as part of effort to build NATO's European pillar, but also as European countries to defend themselves on their own when necessary. Macron suggests that the new concept could include the German initiative European Air and Missile Shield, the European Sky Shield Initiative, enhance European capabilities in areas as well as the deep strike in France's nuclear defense arsenal, which described as indispensable part of European countries' defense. How the components of the new concept are supposed to help provide security guarantees expected by all France partners and create common security framework that will make it possible to build neighborly relations with Russia in the future. I don't know what they're referring to, but let's forget. At the same time, Macron reaffirms the concept of strategic ambiguity towards Russia would account in favor see France. Okay. So I have read this article previously, right? We're getting into politics. I thought they will touch on finances, hard data, but they're getting into politics. I'm not entirely sure where that's important, but either way. So that's France, and the takeaways from this article that really France proposing to build their own capabilities, which I completely agree on. And let's take a look at Poland next. That's information that I was looking for. Actually, Poland's new East Shield plan mixed modern ISR with old school physical barriers. Poland will spend 2.55 billion over the next 4 years to straighten its border with Belarus and Kaliningrad under the new government's plan. Hard data, right? Not necessarily how people are feeling about their neighbors, right? So let's take a look at this data and see. I haven't read this article. Let's delve deeper and trying to understand what this article is all about. Warsaw of May 18, Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk made the first mention of the program, codename East Shield, a massive, I think it's Lottie, 10 billion, or it would be in dollars 2.5, just over 2.5 billion dollars investment in straightening physical border with Belarus and Russia. We will make Polish border secure in peacetime and possible for an enemy to in a wartime. Okay, so there's a sentence. However, the details were made immediately public instead of government waiting until May 27 press event hosted by Minister of National Defense Vladislav Kozinski. His it's interesting name. He's the deputy Cesare, but I don't think the names are important, right? But at least these people are doing something good. Which there's a percentage, there's a prize, and there's more of concrete plan that they have in place, right? In essence, East Shield will be a mix of physical barriers designed to slow incoming forces and higher and surveillance systems, including some powered by artificial intelligence. It also includes preparing forward operating bases, preparing logistical nodes, and creating appropriate infrastructure for anti-drone systems. It's probably not fair to think of it as modern Magnon line, but rather attempt to use modern capabilities to straighten both defense and awareness of the border. Okay. So there's physical, not necessarily just air systems, right? So I think some of those countries are more concerned compared to others, right? And there is a picture that I could attach, and there's a lot of data and something that they're taking a look at, perhaps for people who might be interested. I still don't think that Poland and all other countries doing enough. If you would ask me, they should be doing way more, but at least they're doing something, right? So from there, let's take a look at the entire European plan when it comes to military spending. And I think as of now, since they're increasing spending, they are purchasing way too much from other countries and not building their own capabilities. Let's touch on the last part of what would be overall important, right? So for many countries, perhaps that would be protection themselves and of the infrastructure from ballistic systems. Where for other countries that would be more complex and a number of layers of protection, right? Physical barriers, fences, AI, all these kind of things that we have touched on, and overall is spending, right? So if they're spending a little too much, if you were asking money or sending that money across, and with increase of spending to other governments, perhaps they should develop their own capabilities. That would be EU plans to create defense industrial complex ready for war. So let's try to understand this article. I haven't read it, by the way, so let's try to see what this all about. Name. Let's do not get too political, right? So it's just defense protection, right? So if they weren't gonna get too much into names, and they would be sharing a lot of hard data, that's something that to myself I'm looking for. Brussels, EU wants to shift its defense industry onto a war footing, laying out its plan in 27-page draft for European defense industry strategy. Okay, so there is a strategy. I don't know. Perhaps we can come back and or touch on strategy. I haven't taken a look at that. The EU aims to open the way that finances and sells arms. The way how EU sells arms, I don't think they purchase a lot of arms. That's a problem. It's not that they're selling too much arms. So far, this article is not touching on the pain points. The real point that should be important within this article is that you purchase a lot of arms from other governments. It's not that the EU sells a lot of arms to other governments. So since increase of spending and purchasing from other governments, that means capital is leaving the EU. Not there's influx. That's not an issue yet. So far, this article is not capturing what the problem what you do. Spirit by okay. So we're getting political. Let's skip that. One of the proposed measures even copies the U.S. Foreign Minister's sales scheme, making it easier to sell weapons to third countries, while another would make it simpler for governments to take over civilian production in case of emergency. So far, this terrible article, but either way, let's forget. So, Europe has retreated defense industrial base since the end of Cold War, but it's not competitive enough. Okay, so perhaps there's. I was taking a look at parliamentary hearing, and they were discussing about how hard and why would everyone focus that much on arms sales and all manufacturing in the peacetime, right? So not that much attention been taken or put into when it comes to manufacturing capabilities, perhaps percentage-wise compared to other governments, right? So Europe is comparing themselves to other governments, including perhaps Russia and the U.S., and they're taking a look at sales. It's not the sales an issue; it's where it's been purchasing and how much money is leaving. That's an issue. So I had to repeat it 3 times now. That's how poorly this article has been written. But either way, but Reuters reported, oh, okay, so that is perhaps it's a waste of everyone's time, since they're not acknowledging the real problems here. Doesn't include the volume of subsidies, although certain to be in the billions of euros. It also lack of precise steer for how much procurement EU capable should funnel through local industry. Okay. The detail could change before internal market commissioner. Thirdly, there's named plan to accompany financial proposal on March 5th. So the issue perhaps it's because it's written in English, so we're not acknowledging real problems, right? How much money has been funneled or sent across. So that's an issue. Although Commission's mandate expires after June's EU election, so it's something that we're taking a look at, right? Diplomats said that they have been given assurance that file will push ahead in the next Commission, likely to be led once more by President Ursula von der Leyen. Is something that we were taking a look at. I think she's responsible for it. I think, but I don't know. As I mentioned, I'm doing research for the first time. My main objective of European Defence Industrial Strategy, which is non-binding, is for the bloc to undergo. There's a statement there. It comes with a cash pot, European Defence Investment Program. It's not just financing, but also industrial organization program that Commission officials said. I don't know how they're gonna look at be interested in packaging this for taxpayers to subsidize everything. So I don't know. So rational behind it would be overproduce and sell extra to starting more wars in the world. Defense industry, quote unquote, right? So more people can defend themselves, right? Okay, okay. On the supply side, Brussels seeks to make European defense and more technological institute based, less risky, averse, and more flexible, while ensuring security of supply for governments in the case of emergency by creating mechanisms for the defense industry to have priority over civilian orders and companies. Okay, so perhaps they should take a look at this area more and put more attention into this area. But again, taxpayers will cover everything, right? Quickly, I want to touch on this point. I was recently watching a documentary and trying to understand how the system works. So that will be European Union transparency and accountability are key principles, particularly when it comes to interactions between lobbyists and policymakers. European Commission's European Parliament and Council of European Union have rules, guidelines to ensure transparency. I'll save some time. It just if you might be interested in taking a counselor for a dinner, dinner cannot exceed 150 euros, right? Once that been said, we can come back to this article. Third point, that it is streamlining procurement. European armament program will harmonize procurement procedures. Governments buying jointly will benefit from the exemptions. It includes European level solutions to protect constant areas such as space, cyber, air, and sea. Okay, okay, so it's streamlining, perhaps. I think in parliamentary hearings they were talking something about supporting more smaller businesses, but I don't know if those smaller businesses are, or if they can be good competitors compared to other bigger businesses when it comes to procurement, right? Make it easier to sell arms. I don't think that's a good point, and they compare themselves to other governments. So again, over surplus of manufacturing. But either way, I'll stop there. I don't think this article would capture what the point that I'm trying to make, right? EU, if they need something, they should manufacture themselves. And that's the point that I'm trying to make instead of perhaps making business out of selling arms. That's not the point of this article. Perhaps is something that they're trying to pointing out, right? Perhaps if EU right now is looking to increase its spending, they should increase manufacturing easier instead of purchasing a lot of hardware from overseas. Some numbers can go as high as 55% has been sent across to other governments, right? That's a worrying concern. So once that been said, let's close on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.